Incremental routines. So let's cover the case that you hate SuperMemo, the tool, the software, the paradigm, the method. So in this video, we'll see why this happens, how a person can get to hate the tool, and in case that happens, how you can reclaim the pleasure of learning, how you can undo this case. So let's start. The core issue is that many users drop out of SuperMemo. That's nothing new. Or spaced repetition in general, with Anki or other software. Doesn't have to be SuperMemo, by the way. Because they found it super tedious. It's painfully boring and tedious. Long story short, they don't enjoy the process. They still use the tool because their goal is to get better grades, and with spaced repetition they can get better grades. But for them, it's a pain in the ass. So what's the root cause? Often, it's the school-like attitude. Then, with over-focus on the stats. Oh, the retention rate, how many flashcards I do per day, and all of this. Or competing the queue. That, hey, I have that many cards due, I need to put that at 0 every single day. Which kills intrinsic motivation, the motivation that comes from the inside. Then, quote, it feels like tedious homework. You quickly lose the inherent pleasure of learning. You are just doing homework and grinding. Then, the schooling mindset, schooling as the paradigm of the school, what's called the Prussian system. Then you have the conditioned consciousness. It's a fancy word. So basically what it means is that at school, you're trained to grind through these like tasks. So actually, you're used to this. Hey, I don't like this homework, or I don't like this material, learning stuff, but I will do it because I want the grade at the end of the day. I want to pass the exam. You have these conditions. The consciousness is conditioned already. That's why you can do the same outside of the school, in this case, on a spaced repetition. Second, you carrying forward. So even if you graduate, since you're already conditioned, that's how you know. You don't know any other learning paradigm. So that's what you will do. Force yourself through the pain and the boredom to achieve that goal. Being better grades, memorize whatever, learning a new language, whatever that may be. Then, you treat SuperMemo like a chore. You forcing yourself to slog through the leeches or massive backlogs. Oh, I have 1,000 flashcards to go through. Let me push it. Bah, bah. It's painfully boring. I don't care. I will do it anyways. And this leads to resentment. So tip. Recognizing when your perfect student mindset is overshadowing your natural curiosity. So when this mindset that, hey, I will like school, I will go through the pain, when this takes over, your curiosity, hey, alert, being aware of this, and take action. That's the negative cycle. First, inflating statistics. By the way, I'm guilty of everything I am saying, by the way. In the past, not anymore. So I can relate, big time I can relate. So you create more items, more flashcards, more time spent. As a consequence, more leeches because you keep failing. But you see it as a sacrifice, as a hard work, like badge of honor, something to be proud of, which is the opposite. Not because you do spend more time, actually it's better. Usually it's the opposite. Means that you're efficiency is worse. You're less efficient in learning. You have to spend more time. And because you lead so much, you need to spend more time for that tiny piece of knowledge. And you ignore joy. That, hey, no, my relation says outstanding equals 0 by the end of the day, regardless of anything. My mental health, not just enjoyment or pleasurability, my mental health. Oh, I'm sleep deprived. I will push through the queue. Even though then I will go quicker, it will be very superficial reviews. I don't care. I want this to be zero. You overpose this to something to anything else. Then quote: the metric zero point zero in SuperMemo is for items and topics. Becomes your religion. You can bury your love of learning under repetitive drudgery. You drill and drill and drill. And where's the learning? Where's the intrinsic pleasurability of learning? Whatever you want is evaporated. There's no time for that. Then, with other words, you are violating the fundamental law of learning. That is basically follow your learning drive, your intrinsic reward, your curiosity. Learning should be naturally satisfying. If you read your daily reviews, something is off. So perhaps what I do with the topics, the reading, I enjoy it, but when it's the time to do the spaced repetition, it's dreadful. Something is off then. Brain's own knowledge valuation. Your own brain will tell you, even if you're not even aware, you're not even conscious, you're doing this every single day, hundreds of times. The knowledge valuation. Your mind intrinsically devaluates material that feels forced or joyless, leading to less effective retention. So even if I want to push myself to go through all of the material, my brain will tell me, boring, it's boring, because I'm forcing this, there's no enjoyment, the performance will be worse. So I will even need to commit more time. It's a loop cycle. And since I will perform worse, I will need more staff failing, lapsing, leaching. So I will need even to do more repetitions. And then increasing the volume. And if I increase the volume of dreadful material, it will be even worse in the future. So the key point, if it's not fun or relevant to you, your brain quietly resists, halting deeper memorization. Yes, you can do it, of course, but it will be a lot more expensive to memorize something you don't care, or something it's painfully boring to you. That's why, for instance, if you remember you have seen a movie that's very interesting to you, it was moving or entertaining on the list, it's easier to you will remember more scenes, the name of the characters, and all of that, the plot. But then you have seen a movie, you were with someone else, and for you the movie was painfully boring, it will be a lot harder for you to remember the plot, the name of the characters, and the scenes that happen, because it was dreadful. Your brain will skip that a lot easier. Just to mention an easy analogy, it's not just necessarily in SuperMemo. Then, now we have identified the issue. Now, what about the solution? Okay, I get it, it's dreadful, the data is enjoyment, I'm violating the fundamental rule. What do I do now? How do I solve this? You need to shift to fun and self-determination. First, what you can do is incremental reading. If you do incremental reading the way it's supposed to be used, which is not that easy to get at the beginning, you will be hooked because you will get prompt when you click learn something you care about, something is interesting for you, and as a consequence, something that will be easier than usual to remember. Even though it won't be automatic, you will forget some of the material anyways because you are human. So with the technique or method, incremental reading, can be a never-ending source of new knowledge. Usually this happens. You have more knowledge you want to get than time you have for that. So you always have to do a selection through priorities. Then sparks creativity and genuine pleasure if it's used with freedom and curiosity. If used with freedom and curiosity. If you use incremental reading for college or for university or whatever that has curriculum, there's the freedom. You're not choosing what to do. So that's a big nuisance. With freedom and curiosity, it's all you need. All you need. Then what you'll need is proficiency in incremental reading to get most of the value. Then pleasure of knowing. Over time, the eureka moments, the aha moments, and the sense of progress becoming self-reinforcing. You see that, hey, I was, I don't know, clueless about nutrition, health, biology at some sort, at some degree, or chemistry. And now, hey, I am a lot healthier, I do better choices, and I feel this progress. Oh, now I see all the effects of fasting, of protein, and the timing when to eat this, which exercise to do, and all of that for health. Oh wow, as one example. And then no one fits. There's no one size fits all. What works for me, not exactly the everything, doesn't need to be the same for you. Perhaps doesn't work for you, and what works for you perhaps doesn't work for me. Everyone is different. You have your own preferences, tastes, and all of that. Then tweak your approach so your reviews are less about stats and more about exploring topics. A good example is I'm doing a series of using incremental reading with Minecraft. And you will see that I don't care about the stats in my collection at all. It's about exploring interesting topics. Oh, how farming works, or this and that. How many flashcards I created per time. How many reviews I do. It's useless, not useless, but it's irrelevant. It's just telling me how many things I did that day. It's not something to aim at. Same with my genuine collection. Hey, I have the goal to improve my health, my longevity, my well-being, and my learning capacity, whatever. Those are goals that I have, but are not about stats. That, hey, I want to do that many million repetitions in SuperMemo. I don't care about if I learn or not, or if I enjoy it or not. You see the difference? Then quote, genuine excitement about the fact or skill ensures your memory invests fully in recall. If you don't care, you will struggle to memorize it. It will be possible, but it will be a lot harder. If you're in the school system, there's no other way. So if you don't care, let's say in history, you don't care about this topic at all. You have an exam, so there's nothing else you can do. That's why it's not the topic of this video, but one of the many issues with the school system, it doesn't work. And it's based on coercion. So not because you use coercion, you will memorize it. You will just harm your brain. So the point is that you need excitement or to enjoy it at some degree. Or just skip it. For instance, one very good example is that I don't enjoy taxes and all of this, that hey, I need to know the specifics to comply with the law at the very minimum. And then hey, it will be nice because you will get more money if you invest with this. Yeah, but I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. So for me, what I will earn in money doesn't compensate what I will get, the boredom. So good luck. Lucky the person who enjoys this, but it's not me. That's why, hey, it's not excited, it's not pleasurable, skip it. And I only do what's actually required by law. What I need to do, because if I don't do it, then I will get fined and all of this. Then, as other example. Then practical steps, what you can do that, hey, I have been grinding, my mistake, it's been some years perhaps, now I want to stop doing that, I want to go to the, follow my curiosity, what do you do now? Depending on your case, there are many. So let's see, use mercy. So your workload is more diluted. So you don't have hundreds of repetitions to do and all of this. Especially for the material you don't care. Could be the case that you can even forget it. That means send it to the pending queue. That will mean like it's ignored. It's in your collection, it's not deleted, but it will be ignored. It will never be seen in your repetitions, or straight deleting it. If certain items are in your motivation, remove them or postpone them significantly. I have an example for 1 to 2 that hey, I'm hooked with SuperMemo for the sake of incremental reading. It's been some months, but now I'm starting to hate it. Why? Because as a newbie, in a special petition as well, then after a while, you create your own items. You don't create items at the very first day. You first need incrementalism, do the extract, then the closation, then it will appear and all of that. But since the formulation was crap, because the lack of a skill, hey, I'm glitching everything. I'm forgetting almost everything, right? This becomes tedious that, oh no, once again, this item, na. So you start the loop of, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this again. So then you start hating SuperMemo at the early stages. And what he did is, hey, delete that or dismiss it. But hey, this is hurting my experience already. And since it's very low quality anyways, if I go through the pain and tediousness and boredom to go through those items, he won't get much value anyways, because it's very low quality material, or at least how it's formulated. Here you have one example. The best thing he could do was this. Straight delete or dismiss it, that I will ignore it. Next is to set priorities. That, hey, let me be more genuine, and instead of prioritizing according to what I need in the exams and all of this, no, let me prioritize according to me. What my brain tells me. I don't care about this. Low, super low priority. I care about that. Think that it was very low. Now it will be very high. This will take longer. You can do mass reprioritization from concept groups or branches, heuristically. But to have a kind of a good prioritization, this is element by element, so it will take a while. For instance, I have one example that I had a lot of language, a lot of English items. Not that I did that on coercion, is what I wanted to do, but the volume was a lot larger than incremental reading, so it was messing with my incremental reading. So then I decided to delete it from my collection because it went to a different collection. But then what happened is that what was left is, the priorities are kind of chaotic now, because 90% of the collection was filled, 90% of the priority queue was filled with unprocessed items. So it took me no kidding, longer than a year to experience the daily queue that, now makes sense. Now is well prioritized. So that's not something that you can do like forget or delete. Right click, delete it, and that's it. It will take a while. With the granular. So item per item, I mean. Element by element. Then automatic tools. You can turn auto postpone on auto sort. So you need to constantly battling the giant queue. Like for instance, I have now, in this collection, because it's a backup, I have 13,000 items and 22,000 topics. That's massive. I will need more than a year to process that. It's likely. Then, hey, no, I'm not going to shuffle anything of this. Let me just use auto postpone, and incrementally I will process that. The downside of this is that it needs to be well prioritized already, or I will be missing important items and topics until much later, and I'm going through stuff that is not relevant. So do this automatic tools when you have used already delete, forget, and set priorities in bulk at the very least. And then the last thing, question relevance. Do I need this, or do I want this knowledge right now? It's something I am also guilty of, and I imported almost everything. Everything that was like materialistic, digital, that it's text, is videos or whatever, yeah, let me throw it in SuperMemo. And then what happened? I had hundreds of thousands of elements, and most of, by quantity, most of that is, yeah, something that I might need long term. If that's the case, I will import it later when this comes. So stay focused on what you want and what you need now and in the very near future. And you will import this one by one, not in bulk, like importing the entire and whole books. And you have 20 books about specific topic or guides or whatever. That's an overkill. Incrementalism for the win. Then the takeaway. Less is often more. Better to love learning a few crucial items than force yourself through a hated backlog. So even if you do, just 3 items a day or 10 items a day, you may think, it's very low. That's a lot better than if you do 100 of very low quality items that I just go through, I want to fly by this because it's a pain. But I don't spend time. I don't do the conscious effort to remember this. It's just, yeah, remember this, yeah, next. I want to go quick. Less is often better. Then, confronting the long-term cost. What happens if nothing changes? You might have spent a long time, like 10 years, like I did, in this case in Anki, torturing yourself with daily reviews. Despite superb retention, so that the performance, could be good, it's good, but could be better. So you are, let's say, below what you will expect as the regular user. You have opportunity loss. You miss out on how SuperMemo can enhance mood, creativity, problem solving, and all of that. You first need to enjoy what you're doing. Then, by accumulation of different days, many days, you'll have a rich collection eventually that you can see some links and connections to what seems to be arbitrary or unrelated at first glance. And this sparks your creativity. And because of this, you will enhance your problem solving. So it's like one of the consequences of the other. But if you don't, you just grind, you will keep grinding. There's no opportunity for problem solving. You will be a parrot going through the outstanding queue, and that's it. You will perpetually doing the same thing. Being a parrot, and a slave of your self-conviction that what is best is good to go through all the material, even if it's painful. Then is the freedom of choice. You're not forced to keep learning this like content. Put your mental health and enjoyment first. Even to the extreme, let's say the example I said about before as health, for whatever reason I don't like it first, it's tedious, then it will be better if you just pass. Even to the expense that some knowledge you will be lacking will lead to making not so good choices in your life. You may be thinking that you're having the healthiest choice when it's not the case. To simplify, but more or less you get the message. Then, like for instance, I will avoid eating fat in my diet. I remove the fat in my diet because that's the healthiest choice. Well, if you read a little, you will quickly realize that that's not healthy at all. Then, continuing to do something you hate for a decade is the ultimate inefficiency, both cognitively and emotionally. I have done this to myself because I didn't know better on the Prussian system, on the school system. Also because I went further. So after I finished compulsory schooling, I continued. Then I did a bachelor degree, a baccalaureate, another bachelor degree, 3 master's degrees. So I had plenty of time to continue like this because I prolonged my schooling experience. And that's what I did. Using in my case, using Anki and drilling. And I hated Anki. Even though I saw, oh, there's a lot of power here, it really works, I still hate it. I only do it for the outcome, not the process. Until I discovered SuperMemo, especially for the free learning approach, and incremental reading. And because then, 5 years ago, I was free. No longer was in the school system. So I was doing whatever I wanted. It's the key factor. I had freedom. Remember we have seen before, spaced repetition is a technique that needs to be used with freedom and curiosity, or you're not getting there. So bottom line, don't let SuperMemo become your school substitute. It's about personal growth and curiosity, not a teacher's or a system validation, which is what I did for 10 years. Regain control. So even if you, oh shit, I did this mistake, big time mistake, you're gonna still stop and regain control by drastically pruning and focusing on what really excites you and matters to you. And you restore your genuine satisfaction in the learning process. I have known people with SuperMemo, so not tutorees, but people in the community that I helped or communicated with, that, hey, I was studying a bachelor's, like, I don't know, economics or business, and they didn't finish it. So they didn't finish in the formal education, in the university, but they continued by themselves, free learning. And they learned a lot more about the business, whatever they were pursuing, of their interest. And it's a game changer. Oh, now they are hooked. They do it every day. All of this. What happens? They are pursuing their own learning drive. And it's about the same topic. But hey, I don't care about, I don't know, I'm making this up. I don't know about, I don't care about taxes or marketing. I don't do it. But if I am in the formal education, I will have exams about that. So I will need to go through all of this. Because at the end of the day, learning must be fun. It's fun, by the way, by itself. Inherently, it's already fun. It's with coercion that stops being fun. And learning must be fun, or you're doomed. It's doomed to remain half-baked and overshadowed by resentment. There's no success possible with coercion. With coercion, you can only lose. So final thought. Only by centering on joy, meaning, and curiosity, you can harness the true power of SuperMemo, incremental reading, for a lifetime of effective and enjoyable learning. That's why when I say that, hey, I was in the school system for a very long time, so until I was 29, with no breaks, and now that I'm 37, is, hey, I was reborn. What I'm doing now for the last 5 years is something I would have never thought doing a decade ago. I have an opportunity to live a life I couldn't before, and experience all of this pleasure with following my land drive and having a method and a software to implement this method that allows me to pursue my curiosity of many different topics, thousands if I want, which is my case. I have thousands already. That's why, hey, it's not a big deal. I just hate SuperMemo, spaced repetition, or whatever. And it's what it is. No, you don't. If you want to be a doctor, you have to go through the medical school. You cannot be self-taught because of legal reasons, you have to go through the school. It is what it is, and then once you graduate, you can do what you want. But it is what it is. But if it's not like this, consider. If it's business, you don't need a degree in business to be on the business. You can create your own company and all of that. I know it's easy to say, not easy to do, but it's in your hands. If you don't know how to do it, contact me. I will try my best. At least now I tried my best just sending the message. You are aware now of this, that hey, I created the cognitive dissonance. Oh, what is this? And hopefully you realize later that hey, that's not a good thing. Because yeah, you'll have a job for life until you retire. You will have hated your job, and you will have not experienced the pleasure of learning for decades. It's not worth it. Not worth it. That has been all about hating SuperMemo or incremental learning or spaced repetition. See you incrementally.